Hey there, toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the time-travelling toy collector, and this is the Decepticon Junkion Axlegrease from the Transformers Legacy Evolution range. And it's a deluxe class figure joining that production line courtesy of Takara Tomy and Hasbro. And frankly, it's another lovely entry and an interesting one because it's our first female Decepticon Junkion, to my knowledge, that we've seen, certainly in this range. So before we take a look at the figure, here is a look at the packaging. Obviously, it's one of those open front, no plastic, except for where the plastic is, boxes. Axlegrease, there's Axlegrease in vehicle mode, not too dissimilar from Scrap Hook in many respects. The logo, the art on the side reflecting robot mode, and that's a companion piece on this side as some of the characters we are seeing emerge. And you can see some of the evo-fusion Junkions bonding together, and some of the other characters that we've already had sight of. And that big threatening, is that Tarn or is that Nemesis? On the back we have the product shots. Of course we do. Axlegrease, the various component parts she splits into, her in vehicle mode again, and of course some of what she can do in evo-fusion, where she can join up with other Junkions and other vehicles as well, to be fair, but Junkions specifically. So that's what we get in the packaging. It's very nice, very eco-friendly, and very done. Back to the figure. I love the colour scheme on this figure. It was released kind of in the dark, as far as I remember. The listing came up, and I think I hadn't seen the figure particularly well. But let's get it in hand, because we can take a nice close look at the face sculpt, which I have to be honest, I think is really good. Let me zoom in a little bit more if I can, just to get a better look at the face sculpt in the light. There we go. I really like it. It's nice to see the Decepticon logo, given so few of the Junkions seem to be sporting an Autobot logo, so she's making a real choice there. Yeah, I love the Decepticon colours, or sort of the purples and the greys. There is some hollow elements around the arms, around the legs, but you know, it's a deluxe class figure. It's not a huge figure, and it gives us what we're looking for. It gives us an awful lot of nice sculpted detail. Quite a few accessories, which I've dotted around the figure, and of course you can put them anywhere you like. All the Meg ports are there for you to insert as you wish, and I've put a few in there already. Again, it tidies up really neatly. There's not a huge amount of back kibble. This particular accessory I've added just for storage, but otherwise it would be quite a flat backpack. You can see it there. And again, the hollowing is evident on the rear of the figure, but you know, not many people spend too long looking at the rears of the figures, because that's not where the fun is. The fun is around the front. And I think hollow parts to one side. There's a very flexible figure here, and I think she looks really, really cool. I've already done some external photos with her. And yeah, as I say, I think she looks really, really cool. She photographs really well, and she holds poses really well, which of course is nice. We'll just do a slow pan down for you there, because they don't always, you know, sometimes we have to really struggle or get some sort of posing holder to assist with that. You do get all the standard points of articulation, which I will not bore you with. What I will note is that there's not really, for my money, any sort of thigh rotation. You can get outwards, forwards and back. Sorry, it's parts of it a bit stiff. She's just fresh out of the box. Yeah, you get all the standard, but there's just no thigh rotation. And the shoulders are a little bit... Oh, and again, I will just point out, because it's a Junkion, and because it's a Junkion with the evo-fusion's gimmicks threaded throughout the body, parts are prone to come off. I've had no end of trouble with the right arm, the left arm as we're looking at it. Pops off every 5 minutes. Even putting the cannon on the side of the arm popped off. So that's a minor niggle, you know, because they're part of the gimmick of the evo-fusion stuff is that can happen. Only it's supposed to happen by your design, really. But yeah, it's a good solid figure. It stacks up well. I'm hoping we'll get a few more Decepticon Junkions in this range. Otherwise, she's going to be pretty lonely. And it is a she. Hasbro did confirm it is a female Junkion Decepticon Transformer. So that's lovely. And that's pretty much it for her in robot form. It's very reminiscent of the tooling for, as I mentioned before, Scrap Hook. You even get the Scrap Hook accessory there. So yeah, they didn't go all out to make that any different. There are some minor adjustments and changes, but of course the most notable is the paint sculpt, which absolutely helps with this. So yeah, let's, without further ado, get her transformed into vehicle mode. Don't touch that dial. And what, to be fair, an impressive looking vehicle mode it is. I really like this. And I've also got to say, transformation wise, was not a problem. It was very, very straightforward, very easy. The instructions were very clear, as they tend to be, but there was no second guessing. And pretty much around halfway through, I started doing it myself, because yeah, some of it's familiar. If you've got Scrap Hook, you kind of know how some of it forms together. But it was quite intuitive, so it was quite easy. Then I just double checked the instructions to put in some of the accessories, because it's that there's any number of configurations. It moves really well. It's a very nicely solid piece. Again, I know I've mentioned it before, I love the paint deco here. It closes up quite nicely underneath. There's a few little bits where it hasn't quite held together. Again, I think that might come with time and transformations, but generally speaking, it holds together quite well. I love this whole sort of Mad Max vibe that you kind of get with these things. Sort of that utopian, not utopian, quite the opposite, dystopian future. And I think this looks really, really great. I think the detailing on the structure is excellent. I think the way it blends together is excellent. I think the engine detailing, I think the shields around the windscreen, you know, the Junkion studs that we see there are in keeping with the species, with the colony, the race, whatever you want to treat them as. I think the front grille is fantastic with those almost battering ram-esque details. The scratch, I mean, some of it again we've seen on our friend Scrap Hook, but this looks really, really good. You know, you've got those sort of hot rod-esque vents. The back, the back probably you could put a blast effect in there for some thrust. You might want to put the hook in there so she can pull things along. But it's a really, really nice design, and I love how the accessories and the weapon systems do blend into the vehicle, because you don't need to store anything on here because it all becomes part of that vehicle design. And I really love it. And I think, again, much like the robot mode, it's very photogenic. It really is. And again, stick around for the end. And as with usual with the videos, I'll put in a little suite of photos, and you can see more photos on my Instagram page of a time traveling toy collector. So yeah, I think Axlegrease is an excellent addition to the Transformers Legacy Evolution range, and I'm really glad I picked her up. What about you? Do you think this is something that deserves a slot on your shelf? If the answer is yes, or if this video has helped you make your mind up in either direction, then please hit that like button. It's a small click for you, huge step for me and my channel. Similarly, whilst you're doing that, do please subscribe to the channel. The videos get a range of views depending on when they go out and what they're on, but it would be fantastic if every time a new viewer came along, you did click that subscribe button. You don't have to watch everything. You can watch the things that you're up into, whether that's Transformers or Star Trek or Doctor Who or Star Wars or Battlestar Galactica or whatever it might be. But yeah, go on, why not subscribe to the channel? Whilst you're thinking about that, here's another lingering shot of the wonderful Axlegrease. I really, really like this figure. I'm really stoked that I managed to get her. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more photos with her and having her in my collection. So have you picked this up? Any issues with your copy? Any issues picking her up? You know, let me know in the comments down below. I'll try and reply if I can. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting some more of these things into the collection. In the meantime, thanks for sticking with me for the last 10 or 12 minutes. I've been the Time Travelling Toy Collector. You've been a fantastic audience, and this has been Legacy Evolution Axlegrease. Yeah, so excited. Just remains for me to say thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the future video. Just remember, a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. But bye for now.